Today is really a great day for sharing, for being alive, and a topic that we have today that just stays with me and comes up time and time again. And we're talking about Success Mentorship class number 232. And our topic for today is what's stopping you. What is stopping you? What is stopping you from achieving your goals? What is stopping you from achieving your dreams? What is stopping you from living a life of abundance, of just joy? What's holding you back? That's a powerful topic. And, when I looked at some of the different sections of our book from which the topic is taken, there's so many applicable sections that really sort of put it together, because the things that stop you keep you from achieving your greatness, keep you from achieving the thing that you were put on this planet to achieve. So this is a critical message at this time of the year. We're now in the second half of the year, heading towards completion of another year, another cycle in our lives. And so what we do from this moment forward is important, is critical in helping us achieve that we say that we want to achieve. So before we get started, let us do our meditation. Let's just sit quietly. Close your outer eyes. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace, of relaxation, we are at peace with ourselves. I am at peace with myself. Let us say that together. I am at peace with myself. Once more. I am at peace with myself. And just let that peace sink in. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this state of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. All right. I love to begin with a quote. And Aida said something interesting. She said, "There's so much world to see. What's stopping you from flying free? There's so much world to see. What's stopping you from flying free?" That's a powerful thought. There's an infinity of things out there, and yet we choose, operative word, choose not to see all of these incredible things. Right now, at this point in the year, some of us may be like absolutely excited that we're doing incredible things and that everything that we set out to do is happening right now. And in that case, that's a hallelujah moment. But I think many of us are at a point where we're wondering, what do we have to do next? What is important? What must we do now to go forward in the most effective manner? When we're at a time like we are now, and this particular vibration in the universe is almost a universal vibration. All over the world, there's a lot of uncertainty. All over the world, people are concerned about the future and going forward. A lot of people spend so much time fighting alligators In other words, dealing with your present condition. And we're all, I think, in that boat at different times. We spend so much time dealing with our present condition, fighting the alligators, that we don't have time to drain the swamp. Let's rephrase that we don't take time to drain the swamp, which is to eliminate the conditions that create the alligators, eliminate the conditions that are stopping us. And it's all about choice. We choose to either fly, flee, walk, or sit down. We choose the changes that we are willing to make in our lives to take us where we want to go. Ayn Rand said something very powerful. She said, the question isn't who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me. It's not about who's going to let you succeed. It's about who's going to stop you. And so as we move into this next portion of the year, the key thing is, what do I have to do now to move forward most effectively? See, because the time dynamic, all of this is done in a time dynamic. And so the time dynamic is happening. The river of time is moving. And what we do on that river determines whether we go where we desire to go to achieve our goals, or whether we go where the river of time decides to take us, living the life of the world mind of somebody else's desires. So let's look at some things from this side. If I know what's stopping me, then I can address them and go forward effectively. There are basically three things that stop us from achieving our greatness. Number one, lack of clearly defined goals. Number two, lack of a clear written plan. And number three, lack of action. These three things determine whether we will go forth effectively and positively, or whether we'll languish in whatever we're doing right now. And you know, the interesting thing is you really can't stay in what you're doing right now, because the river of time is always moving. So if you're standing still in your consciousness, the river of time is taking you someplace you may not want to go. As we move into the second half of this year, it's very instructive to say, how do I overcome these blocks? How do I overcome these things that are stopping me? And it's very important we do this, because many times we get so focused on flowers in the garden that we neglect to deal with the weeds. And so the things that are stopping you are like those weeds that creep up into the garden that is your life, that stunt your growth, that keep you from flying. So let's look at this. This first key, lack of clearly defined goals. You know, we preach goals. We talk about goals all the time. You know we do. And we talk about goals from a very analytical point of view. Your goals must be smart, specific, measurable, set in advance, realistic, cover a certain time period. And all those things are good. All those things make sense. But the real essence of goals is how it touches you. You know, the first law of success says, a mind shall have whatsoever it thinks in its heart. And heart is your feeling nature. And so to really define the type of goals that we need to have. And you see, the emotional aspect of goals is the aspect that will really help you bring them about. You see, because desire is based on emotions. And so when we desire to accomplish our goals, if those goals are not defined in emotional terms, in terms that touch our heart, we may be just walking on the grass, talking in the path, but walking in the grass. So let's look at some of the things that can help us understand our emotional goals. Number one, is it something you enjoy? That's a powerful thought, folks. If you don't enjoy doing it, chances are you're not going to become very good at it. If you don't enjoy doing it, then the moment an obstruction, the moment there's an obstacle, there's a good chance that you'll throw in the towel. You see, when you enjoy doing it, it creates a vibration inside, a vibration of joy. And you know, everything in life is about manifestation of vibration. And emotions are the seed of the vibrations. And so when whatever we say we want to be, do, and have brings us joy, it creates a vibration that then develops that magnetic force that attracts the things that we want into our life to help it happen. And so, instruction. If you have been working hard at achieving a goal and it's not happening, it may not be your joy. Many times we'll have goals based on somebody else's expectations. You know, as parents, it's a real delicate balance between raising our children to live our dreams, all the things we did not do, we did not become, we did not have, to raise our children to compensate for our own, I won't say just to compensate for our life. Okay. And so we then put on our kids or children almost like a straitjacket of our desires for them to live their lives. And so if you're not achieving your goals, if you've gone through all the mechanisms, all the courses, and yet it's not happening, it may be that your goals do not bring you joy. The second aspect of the goal that's important is it's got to be something you're good at. If you're not good at it, you're never really going to become great. If you're not good at it, you'll never be great at it. If you're not good at something, then you'll literally live a life of surviving instead of thriving. When we look at today's world, Dawn teaches a lot about customer service. Welcome, Dawn. You chimed in right on time. Dawn teaches a lot. Dawn is in Barbados. She teaches a lot about customer service. And I think all of us right now that interact with the world in any regard, call your bank, you'll hold on for 45 minutes. Many of the times you can't even find a human being to talk to. In other words, human beings have been taken out of the equation. It tells you to go to the, do the chat and go to the website and all these things. And so this sense of excellence may be really on a decline in some people's minds. So if your goals are not something that you're good at, then maybe this should not be a goal. Maybe this should be a hobby. You know, I want to sing, and I declare today I've been taking singing lessons, and for years I did not think I could sing. I mean, and anybody who heard me agreed. They said, Herb, you can't sing. But one day I decided I wanted to sing, and I started practicing and got a vocal coach and whatnot. Now, I think I'm going to be good at it. As a matter of fact, I know I'm going to be good at it. So if your goal is not something that you are good at, it may be a hobby, and treat it accordingly. Number 3, your goal must be something you would do for free. Now, this is one I get a lot of pushback from, especially with our young people. So many young people tell me, they say, if I'm not getting paid for it, I'm not doing it. I was working with a young man, and he taken one of these personal training courses. You hear the advertising, and you know, you take a course in becoming a personal trainer, and I think in less than 3 months, I think maybe it's even 4 months, 4 weeks, you become a personal trainer, and you can make up to $200 an hour. And so the young man went to the gym and asked for a job as a personal trainer. And when they told him what they were willing to pay, he said, I'm not going to work for that. These people don't want to pay me. If you're not willing to do it for free, you'll never get good at it. You know, in the old days, you used to have the apprenticeship programs, and you literally almost paid to work for somebody to learn the skill set that they had. And so if you're not willing to do it for free, that means you're never going to really get where you're going to go. When you do it for free, you're priming the pump. You're putting in the time. You know, think about this. How many, when you look at all the great entertainers and singers, every one of them will tell you how they sang for free, how they went into comedy clubs, stand up, and they told their jokes for free, just to have somebody learn about them. In this whole entertainment world, you have to show your worth. You have to show your value. You have to show your skill. Sade said she interned for 5 years. But the value of that internship is you learn the skill set, you make the connections. And so this idea of being willing to do it for free is critical, because this means, number one, that you'll really get good at it. But it also means, number two, that you're priming the universal pump to attract into your life that which complements that you're willing to do for free. Number four, and this is the biggie. Do your goals help other people? You see, you can have personal goals, and that's why we call them personal goals. But for you to manifest your life goals, your goals must help other people. Why? And the reason is because you need other people to work with you. In order for you to achieve the greatness, then you have to put the law of harmonic relationships to work. Spiritual law says that two or more gather on one accord to access infinite intelligence. The mastermind principle says that when you put two or more on one accord operating on a particular outcome, 1 + 1 is more than 2. You create a vibration which ties you in with the mastermind, which ties you in with universal consciousness, that then attracts into your space that you want. So if your goals don't help others, then that's a challenge. And this is one of those things that really helps balance your ego. So many times our goals are more ego-driven, that we want it because we want it. We want it because we want to experience it. We want it because we want to possess it. But in reality, if those goals don't help other people in the long run, your efforts will be counterproductive. You see many people who achieve great financial success, but along the way, they burn so many bridges that when they get to the top of the mountain, there's nothing there but them. And they're not that excited about it. And finally, the fourth aspect of your goals that gives them that emotional power to make them happen, it has got to be something you want to do the rest of your life. Now, that's something that we have to look at. If this goal that you're working hard at right now is not something that you want to do the rest of your life, that may explain why it has not manifested in the way you thought it would, in the way you wanted it to manifest. So these 5 keys now to look at goals from a different aspect are powerful. To look at your goal as something you enjoy. Your goal is something that you're good at. Your goal is something you'll do for free. Your goal that helps other people, and something that you're willing to do for the rest of your life. And so as an assignment, I'd like to give this assignment to you now as you go into this final portion of the year, the second half of the year, is to start making a list. Maybe you need to go back and just do a checkup from the neck up and the heart down, and to make a list of the things you enjoy. You know, just an aside, my son Sean once said, "Dad, how do you figure out what you want to do in life?" I said, well, you figure out something that you're good at and that you enjoy, and then determine a way to get paid for it. That you're good at and that you enjoy, and then determine a way to get paid for it. Wow. Thank you so much, leaders. So, you know, he said, I love being a DJ. I said, well, great. Figure out a way to get paid for it. You know, he went to the radio station, and guess what? They didn't hire him to be a DJ because he had no experience. But I guess being around this old man, the old boy learned a little something. He said, you know what? Well, what do you have available? They gave him a job as a part of the maintenance staff. That meant he was in the building. And to many of our young people, and to many of our, listen, all of us are young, because the moment we stop growing, we ain't going. And so sometimes it's important just to get in the room. So he got a job at the radio station in the maintenance department. But you see, it's not what you're doing, it's what you see yourself doing. He never saw himself as a maintenance man. He always saw himself as a disc jockey. And so while he was maintaining around that radio station, he was learning everything he could. He was asking questions to the DJs. How do you put in the bus? How do you do this? How do you do that? And one night, about 5 minutes to 12, he was getting ready to knock off at 12. He finished cleaning. The station owner called and said, well, where's the DJ that's supposed to be on, the 12 to 6 guy? He's not here. So the owner says, well, listen, I can't get there. Can you maybe put the station on automatic? Do you know how to do that? Sean says, yeah, sure, I can do it. The owner says, and let me try to get myself together. I'll try to get there as soon as possible. Yeah. When 12 o'clock came, Sean knew how to hit the buttons. He knew how to put the bus in, and he started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sean, the Love Man. And the rest is history. That poor guy didn't have a job any longer. Sean became the DJ at the station. So what is it saying? That when you have a goal that has these type of characteristics, it creates a vibration within you that makes the impossible possible. For those who are listening, if there's something in you, some passion that you enjoy, that you're good at, that you're willing to do for free, do it. Because that may create the vibration to bring it into your life. So now that we have this type of emotional understanding of goals, let's look at the second blockage, is the lack of planning. Okay. Now this idea of lack of planning is critical, because the Habakkuk, once again, I always tie in the spiritual principle. The Habakkuk says, write the vision, make it plain upon tablets, that they may run that readeth it. That's a plan. And so if you don't have a plan to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, guess what? They will not happen. You know the quote, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And see, the essence of planning is a couple of things. One, organization, to work from lists. Planning is also about faith. If you don't have faith in your ability to manifest the plan and get it done, you won't do it. Planning is also about appropriate use of time. And so these things, when they come together in your planning now, number one, to always write it down. Number two, to schedule the activities that must be done. Number three, to follow that plan diligently. So if you have planning, and in our book in chapter 7, in the 12 Universal Laws of Success, the law of action, there's a very detailed process there for how to write an action plan. And so planning is the key. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But if you plan to succeed, it will happen if you follow the plan, which brings us to number 3. Lack of action. We can do all these other things. We can write our goals. We love doing it. We're good at it. We'll do it for free. We can write our plans. Write them out in detail. Make the plans look like the Declaration of Independence, very ornately written. But if you don't take action, action is the bridge between plans and results. If you don't take action, then all this stuff is for nothing. The scripture says, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do it with all your might. And so when we think about that, why don't people take action? That seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? People don't take action because one, fear. We call it fears, false evidence appearing real. They have fear of failure. The one way to surely never fail is to never do anything. When you find somebody who has not failed, they've never done anything. And so in order for you to do the things that must be done this year, action is the bridge. Absolutely. Action is the bridge between conception and accomplishment. So if you have fear of failure, then you won't do anything. So we have to reprogram our minds so that failure is a dress rehearsal for success. Winston Churchill said, success is moving from failure to failure and not losing your enthusiasm. Every experience that you have is to make you better. Frederick Douglass says, where there's no struggle, there's no growth. So the fact that you fail over and over again means that you're going to win. Because as long as you keep trying, sooner or later, you're going to win. Another reason people don't act is because fear of criticism. When people criticize you, there are two kinds of criticizers. There are people who criticize to tear you down, and there are people who criticize because they love you. And when I say because they love you, not when you can tell because how it makes you feel. There are some people that will criticize you, give critical instruction, and they'll say it's because I love you, but it doesn't make you feel good, then it's not love. So that fear of criticism, to really recognize that there's good and there's bad criticism. If the person criticizing you has been where you're trying to go, somehow people who've been through the fire know how to tell you how to get through the fire in a way that does not make you angry, or does not upset you, or does not discourage you. When people have not been through the fire, they really can't tell you. Someone says, never have a coach who's never played the game. So criticism, recognizing that critics, there's no statue anywhere in the world. You can travel over this planet, you'll never find a statue erected to a critic. So don't worry about what other people say. You just keep going and growing. Sometimes it's fear of change. You know, we can get so busy fighting the alligators of life that we say, look, draining the swamp is not an option. That all life is about is fighting alligators. One of the things that's happened with this pandemic, you say, well, where did the people go? Why is there nobody who wants to work? A couple of things. Number one, some people have found that there's more to life than going to a job that they hate. Other people have found that they're worth more than people were willing to pay for them. So there's not so much that there's nobody to work, it's that nobody to work at the price that people are willing to pay. Gonna drive up wages. So don't worry about what it is right now. See beyond the situations that you're in to the potential that's there. And of course, there's that fear of looking bad. You know, many times you don't want to look bad. Now, that's an interesting fear. It's really so dependent on somebody else's impression. So don't worry about what other people think about how you look doing what you want to do. You just go for it. Don't worry about that. Just go for it. So let's sort of put it all together, folks. This idea of what's stopping you, that once you recognize these things that are stopping you, then you can overcome them. So number one, lack of clearly defined goals. Make a list of the things you enjoy doing. Your goals should be things you enjoy doing. Make a list of the things you're good at. Your goals should involve things that you're good at. Make a list of the things you're willing to do for free, because that will give you the power to learn and get better. Make a list of the things that your goals that will help other people. That brings the mastermind to play to help you. Make a list of the things that you're willing to do for the rest of your life. That is how you find your purpose and your destiny. Make your plans. Write your plans in great detail. Make your plans the night before. Make a list of activities to be performed, schedule when they must be done, and how much time they will take. Monitor the effectiveness of your plan. so that as you take actions during the day, you make proper choices. Action is all about choices. To live each day from moment to moment, to live in the now. So that each moment you ask yourself the time question, what is the best use of my time right now to accomplish my goals, realize my vision, and live my purpose? And then finally be committed to take action. Be committed to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. Be committed to hang in there, to keep going and keep growing. That nothing, nowhere, no place, nothing can stop you. Develop the consciousness of only success, only abundance, only happiness. Then, when you can do these things, you can overcome anything. You can make the choices to be what you want to be, to do what you want to do, and to have whatever you want to have. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. So thank you so much. Those of you on Instagram, on Facebook, thank you so much for being with us. Write some comments. Share this message. Share some of your experiences about how you've been facing the challenges in your life and overcoming them and doing what you want to do. Those of you on Zoom, hang tight and we're going to have our discussion. Reach out to me. Be sure to send me an email. We really want to hear some stories about your victories, some stories about the things that you're doing, how you've overcome the things that could stop you to achieve your dreams. Send me an email, Herbert@herbertharris.com. That's Herbert, Herbert, @herbertharris.com. Let us know how you're doing in achieving your goals. If you have any questions the burning questions that you have to say, hey, I need to know this to help me move where I want to go, write me, Herbert@herbertharris.com. So thanks so much for being with us on Instagram, on Facebook. Remember this, the best is always yet to come. And so it is.